And here we go, our first show for KOTOR for Smash City Studios in the new studio. So as you can see here, I got a cool little setup here going, and with new lights, a new location, no longer broadcasting from Coruscant, as you've seen on the Jedi Way or on Scoundrels Inc. But I wanted to take a moment and take some time and answer some KOTOR questions. So I went into Discord and I told everybody to ask the questions in the Ask the Filmmaker. Our Discord you can join by finding on our YouTube channel. You can see the little button to join the Discord. We got some great fans in there. And so I'm going to go through these questions. We got a couple of good ones and some wacky ones. And I just wanted to update everybody on what's going on in the KOTOR realm here with Smash City Studios. As you know, we got KOTOR Convergence on the way. So I just figured it would be fun to answer some questions and kind of give the new studio a test out, you know? So let's just get started here. And we go for Erdon. Long time. Well, not really long time. He's one of our newer fans, but he is definitely one of our faves. We love you, Erdon. Erdon, we got 3 questions. Oh, you get 3? You think you can just ask 3 and I'm going to answer all 3? All right, I'll answer all 3. Unless it's a big spoiler, is the Sith Emperor we see in the KOTOR Convergence trailer, Vitiate, is he the Loganverse version? Or is it a different one? Does he work with the mysterious new villain, or is he in the story for something else? You know, I can't answer that. In fact, a lot of these KOTOR Convergence ones, you guys really did ask very spoilery type questions. So unfortunately, Eridon, I can't really answer that. I will say that answer to that question is definitely answered, and that the Emperor has definitely far-reaching consequences across the multiverse. I can say that. Let's go to your second question. You said also, will we see Dan Casra's Starforge in Convergence? It's there. It exists, right? Are we going to see it? I can't tell you that. I mean, I could, but then you'd be bummed that I'm spoiling it, right? So, last question is, will Condor Modero die again by getting smashed by a big door? Can't tell you that either. I can tell you that Condor Modero will continue his nefarious ways. He's a jerk in any universe, in any multiverse. And I'm happy to say that it was important for me that because obviously our Condor Modero from the Loganverse got smashed by a door, so we know the one in the trailer is not. It's a different one. And I could say that there is some fun interplay between Logan and Condor regarding some of their earlier, some of the other Condor Modero conversations with him and experiences. So Logan has fun with that. Okay, Prodigal Knight Revan, the Prodigal Knight, asks, can you give us any details on what's to come post-Convergence? We're talking, looks like the Rise of the Sith Lord Special Edition, Shadow of the Sith, and any future Convergence movies. I'll start with the back and work my way forward. So, any future Convergence movies, I have ideas. I actually have an idea for Convergence 2 and 3. And my buddy Dan helped me carve out a story for one of the original characters in KOTOR that would lead us directly into a KOTOR Convergence 2 type situation. It's a long ways out if we were to do it. There are ideas being tossed around. And then for the KOTOR Convergence 3, I could just tell you it would be the villain. First of all, the villain from KOTOR Convergence 2 would be great. It would be someone that people have been wanting to see. And he or she would factor in to the third one, because the second one would almost be like a lead into the third one, kind of like how Infinity War led into Endgame. And then the third one is so bonkers and bananas. I don't think we'll ever get to it. It would be cool if we did, but it would be a lot of classic villains converging from that era, from KOTOR era, converging upon our heroes. So that's all I can say. I probably said too much. Shadow of the Sith, we're still working on it, honestly. Our production team has just gone through a lot in real-world situations and real life, and some just about being busy, some just being about personal things we need to address. So it is still in the cards for this year. We really want that third episode or the fourth episode to happen sooner than later. And I want to make the trailer for it, so I just need some footage from Darth Ycey. So Iceman, love you, buddy. You remember that idea I had for the teaser? It's going to be really great. And that just goes to show how good Episode 4 their plan is for the script. Is that when I heard the script, I heard the audio animatic, whatever. And I was like, oh my God, I have a great idea. And I texted him right away. I'm like, dude, I want to make the trailer. And then Rise of the Sith Lord Special Edition. This is all on me. I'm still finishing the final animatics that I need to turn into Darth Varkor for Convergence. When that is done, I will then resume work on the special edition. The special edition actually was started a while ago, and the proof is in the pudding. Like I showed it to Greg and to Darth Ycey, and I said I took the first 45 minutes of Rise of the Sith Lords and condensed it into like 18 minutes, and it doesn't feel rushed. It's great. It's like fast, but it gets to all the story points. Everyone knows I famously not really liked Paragus, so the faster I'm out of there, the better. And I figured out a way to do it where it's kind of an action set piece throughout the first 18 minutes. Really gets the blood pumping. And Miss Ycey is doing the voice of Mitra. We're replacing all of the Robo voice, so that's going to be really cool. That's all in the cards. I just got to finish a couple more things from Convergence, including an animatic of a proof of concept that is pretty, hopefully if we could pull it off, would be pretty awesome. But as far as the track record of Darth Varkor and Darth Ycey and Chris and Greg with the writing, it seems like anything I throw at them, they come up with. They can figure it out. So they rock. Revan 35890. What's up, man? You ask, which Revan is more powerful, Dan or Logan? And which Revan would win in a fight? Well, I mean, that's just, you're gonna have to wait and see. We're gonna address some of that. I would say without factoring Convergence in at all, I would think that whatever Revan is leaning more into the dark side is at that point more powerful, because it's the quicker, more seductive path, and many times the more powerful path. Although light side Jedi beat dark side Jedi all the time. However, I will say that in a duel between the two of them, and I should change the background to the dark side colors. Wow, that makes it really orange. So, in a duel between the two guys, Revan and Dan, or Logan and Dan, I think you're gonna get some of that answered for you. But obviously, like with both filmmakers, like it's tough to. I'm gonna always say Logan, and he's always gonna say Dan. But I do think in certain situations, Logan would beat Dan, and Dan in certain situations would beat Logan. We all have our weaknesses, so that's what I would say for that. Our next question, Cal Kestis. You just chimed in and just added not as much as Anakin Skywalker, both of them, but not. Listen, Anakin Skywalker, the chosen one, that's fine. Logan Starr is whooping that boy. Whooping Anakin up and down. Oh, well, he couldn't even beat Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan's great, don't get me wrong. But, yeah, Dan or Logan is whooping Anakin's ass. Pardon my French. Nep asks, if Logan used the Cathal Rift to travel from his universe to Dan's, could he possibly use it to travel to other worlds entirely? Like Nirn, and somehow emerge in Skyrim during the Fourth Era? First of all, Skyrim, I've always wanted to play it. I actually have it on queue in my Xbox Series X. But KOTOR movie making, man, what can I do? I never have enough time, and I have a child, and I have a job and a career, and the Star Wars show. So, interesting, though. And if he had that kind of ability via the Rift in a world of entirely different franchise, which world of an entirely different franchise would you send him off to? And what events in that world would he be subjected to? Man, I love this question. That's fun. Totally not me wanting to see Logan Starr fight dragons, vampires, and Stormcloak rebels in Skyrim. Well, we could say this. Logan would constantly make quips about it. Like medieval armor and castles and dragons. Not to say that Logan's never seen a dragon before. If you remember the trailer for the Revan prequel, when that show finally comes to its conclusion, he's ridden atop a beast that's very similar to a dragon, so that's pretty cool. And he took out a crate dragon, so I think he'd feel right at home, to be honest. It's been fun. I've been kind of dipping into World of Warcraft a little. It was before the move. Now I've moved. I haven't even touched it, but I just was kind of revisiting with old friends World of Warcraft. That would be funny to see Logan hanging out there at Stormwind. What other game franchises, man? Fallout universe, Call of Duty, Logan whooping whooping ass in Call of Duty in any of them? That's a fun question. Thanks. Those are the kind of questions I love answering, so keep them coming as we continue on. Revan, any more details on Convergence? I think I covered that, so hopefully, yeah. I mean, the details I can just tell you is that Chris's VFX work has been fantastic. And again, I laugh, but I throw out animatics, and sometimes with shots that, like, it's easy for me to animatic because I'm either finding it from a movie or I'm just using 2D art to try to describe it. And every time they're nailing it, and Chris does that. Chris's eye for visual effects is fantastic, and he's done work for me outside of the KOTOR space. And whenever I can get him work, I will. He's great. There's some extra details. How about that? Kevin Smets says, these are all great. Thanks for keep them coming. That's me. And now I'm talking to myself. Irdon, are these questions for the next Scoundrels Inc? No, they're for this right now. But I think I answered you that in that. So I don't know why I read that out loud. But Irdon, there you go. There's your fourth question. It's not for Scoundrels Inc. Dark Lord Khan, who is total Team Logan. He just doesn't know it. Hashtag Team Logan. If you see Khan driving out on the road, you'd see he has a bumper sticker that says hashtag Team Logan. He's a huge Logan Star fan, doesn't support Dan or the Varkor-verse at all. He's 100% Logan-verse, go Logan in a fight between Dan and Logan. He knows that. Is it possible that anyone Logan fights in Convergence, in Dan, Condor, or even the main villain, will learn of his weakness for Davik's music and use it to try and defeat him? Let's listen to the music real quick, shall we? I'm actually not really listening to it right now. I'm going to add it in post, but I'm pretending like I'm listening to it. Funny story about that song. It's from an RPG called Ephemeral Fantasia. I've said it before, but for those who didn't know, I added it to the KOTOR because back when I was making it, for some reason, it's the castle theme, and I really liked it. And so I was like, how am I going to find a way in my KOTOR movie that I just started making? Like, how am I going to find a way to do it? Because, like, it doesn't fit in anything. It doesn't make any sense to have it in a KOTOR movie. And I was like, I'll just have it play in the loudspeakers for Davik. I will not answer that question. I will say that fans know that if I make a KOTOR movie or project, that music is going to find its way. They're just as sure as they're going to say I have a bad feeling about this. So I look forward to seeing how everybody on premiere night when that happens. If it happens. I'm not saying it happens. See, I said too much already. Someone in the Discord could list all the spoilers. That'll be funny. Someone should list all the spoilers I revealed on this Q&A so fans can laugh about it. And Khan, another question. Super fan of Logan Star. More content in the style of the shows you're on, but you're just talking about the films? Count me in. Thank you. Yep, that's what we're doing here. And I think it's easy. This new setup makes it really easy. The last setup, it was really tough because I had to deal with window and lighting and stuff like that. So, yeah. Erdon, another question here. When did Greg Mitchell first share the Convergence script with you and Darth Varkor? I don't remember exactly when, but I remember it came from just a joke in the Varkor server where I was like, oh yeah, we're doing like an Into the Spider-Verse movie. And I was just riffing with wacky ideas. And then we just started talking on the side. We're like, wait a second, we could come up with a really cool idea. And we got Greg and Iceman and Chris involved in the chat, and we just started throwing ideas out. And we're like, wait, we could really do something. And I don't really want to say too much more than that because the villain was one of the main, for me, it was one of the driving forces of like, oh, that'll be really cool to do. Let's do it. Aside from all the visual gags that we have that we had planned, we had a lot of like wacky ones. I don't think we're going as wacky anymore, but you're going to see some pretty cool Easter eggs. But yeah, when he first, we had an outline first, and the outline was great. And then he would send us like the first act, first 30 pages, and then the next 50 pages and whatnot. So, and then, he understands the Logan verse because he's written for Shadow of the Sith, and he's helped us a lot, and the Revan script he wrote. So he knows Logan very well, and I was surprised he knows he can write for Dan very well too, and I know that's how Darth Varkor feels too. So he really nailed it. And times where we felt like someone was veering one way that he wouldn't, like, you know, if Logan wasn't doing something that I felt he was supposed to be doing, I would course correct, and same thing with Dan. So we would kind of had our say, and then I would come up with a dialogue line that he would throw in there and stuff like that. So, not to mention when we ad lib in the VO booth. So yeah, it was great when we first saw it. Revan 35890 again. Appreciate your more questions. Appreciate help in this video here. Which Revan would win in a fight, Dan or Logan? Which Revan is the most powerful, Dan or Logan? Okay, so you did already ask this kind of, but how much more work is needed for Convergence, and will it be released in June or August? I can't tell you about a release date. I always promise, but honestly, like we were going really fast on our production, but we've kind of halted a little bit. Not halted, but slowed, because Darth Varkor is going through a move himself, and he's also with a job. Sometimes job gets hectic, just like it's done for me. So not saying it stopped completely. End of summer is still, I mean, it's June, so perhaps end of summer. Maybe September. It might be in the fall. But we'll keep you posted. Thank you. And like I said, the most powerful, I think whoever's using the dark side at the time would be most powerful. We've kind of talked about this before. I feel like if Logan went fully dark, I think that he would be really hard to deal with, because I think that he has a lot of... like, I think my opinion of Dan's dark side Revan is that he was betrayed at some point, because he always talks about how everyone betrayed him, right? And as misguided as that might be, or maybe it's justified. And I think that he does, a lot of the times he doesn't want to do the things he does, but he's doing it because he knows there's no way coming back. For Logan, I don't know. Like, if Logan were to turn bad in mine, if I were to turn him bad, it would be more about being pissed off, not about how everyone's betraying him. I think he would just be legit pissed off. Yeah, I don't want to get too much into it because it might factor into the movie. So, yeah. So there you go, guys. I appreciate that. Maybe we'll do this like once every couple weeks, when I can get to do it. I want to do a lot more content here. This is almost like a dry run test. So I appreciate it. Shout out to Frank for letting me use these the Riverside software. And yeah, hopefully this recorded, and I'll put it together and I'll get it on our channel. But I appreciate all the fans and all the questions and all the Discord. I have been away, haven't been that active on the channel as well, just because we're going through a move and stuff like that. But new place, it's a better school for Kira, which will be great, and this real ease of use for this studio. And with the lighting going on, like, let's be honest, I've had some fun with it. You can even do the lighting where you can do it. It can match to my voice, so you can just talk. Kind of ridiculous. So hopefully this doesn't give anybody any epileptic seizures. And just want to say, may the force be with you. Thanks so much. I am thinking of bringing KOTOR Radio out occasionally and bringing our old co-host Kevin Strick for that. I'm already on 2 Star Wars shows, so it's a lot. Hope everybody enjoyed The Acolyte, and you can check out Scoundrels Inc. and The Jedi Way for my most recent takes on it. I thought it was good, and have some of my misgivings about it, but you can tune into those shows. Other than that, thanks for hanging out, and that was fun, and maybe we'll continue doing this. And until then, I'll check you later.